just having fun and seeing a lot of people we haven't seen in a long time. You know, this is a night of art, supporting the Met as artists and collectors ourselves, and we just want to have fun and just have that New York state of mind.
Of course, you have so many big New York records.
Would you have handled the situation at all differently?
I would have still made the same decision, but it would have been less maybe pressure or less eyes on me, like, what's she gonna do? People are saying this, and is this true, or whatever it is. I think it would have been less pressure maybe, but I do think I still would have came to the same conclusion because some boundaries were crossed that I just...
Alicia Keys just set the internet on fire. She didn't just clap back, she went straight for the jugular. Word is, she accused Lala Anthony of secretly being engaged to her man Swizz Beatz, and she made sure the whole world heard it. What started as whispers behind closed doors suddenly exploded into a national scandal with Alicia herself lighting the match. But here's where it gets wild. This mess doesn't look like a random outburst at all. It feels like a messy chess game that's been brewing for years. Who's really pulling the strings here? Is somebody intentionally stirring chaos, or was Lala actually living a double life in plain sight? Old photos resurface, cryptic captions pop up, and shady insider tea starts spilling everywhere. And trust me, the puzzle pieces don't line up clean. People are saying Alicia's bombshell didn't just drag Lala, it cracked open her whole marriage and inner circle for the world to dissect. Every tweet, every story, every blog post piled on the flames until the situation was a full-blown inferno. The streets are whispering the unthinkable. And now everyone's asking, is this truth or the messiest game of smoke and mirrors we've ever seen? Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment. And let's see what's waiting for us at the end of this wild story.
Both of them are married. Both of them are in high-profile, controversial relationships. Swizz is married to Alicia Keys. Y'all keep saying Alicia Keys stole that man. You can't steal nothing, okay? That don't belong to you. I just want to put that out there, okay? Carmelo has been embarrassing Lala before her body and after her body. Okay?
For the first time, an insider spilled that Alicia wasn't just reacting to gossip. She's been watching and connecting dots for a long time. Imagine sitting back and seeing cryptic captions online, shady late-night link-ups, and mysterious texts that don't add up. Suddenly it all makes sense, like the receipts were right there the whole time. But here's the burning question. Did Alicia just now stumble onto the truth? Or has she known all along and finally snapped tired of playing the perfect wife? One admirer even put it bluntly, saying the supposed secret engagement between Swizz and Lala has been happening in plain sight for years. And then came the heavy punch, Alicia calling it straight up karma. She basically said, what goes around always comes back, and the side-eye in her tone was so sharp you could practically hear it slice through the air. It gets even deeper. Alicia performed Karma on stage, and fans swear it wasn't just a performance, it was a dagger. They said the irony was flawless. The same way she once got him, she could be losing him now. The comment sections lit up with people typing things like, oh, now the tables turned, and see how the game plays out. Folks couldn't stop pointing out the full circle energy of this mess. And then comes the twist that makes it even more scandalous. Fans started dragging up the exact moment Alicia and Swizz first got together. The receipts were too raw, the energy too loud. People said Lala's quiet entrance into the story hit different, like she slid in without anyone noticing. Until now. The whispers became thunder, the drama turned volcanic, and suddenly it wasn't just rumors anymore, it was war on the timeline.
Night, bro, you know, you're not doing too bad yourself. You come through and shut it down every single time. Tell me what you both are looking forward to tonight.
Swizz suddenly found himself running a one-man crisis management operation, spinning, dodging, and covering every angle as whispers kept circling. At the time, Lala's messy split from Carmelo Anthony was still hot on the blogs, and now rumors of her secret link to Swizz started flooding the feeds like wildfire. And it wasn't just empty gossip either. Radio host Ms. Jones went on air, claiming she got a direct message straight from someone in Swizz's own camp. Imagine that. The drama wasn't just coming from the outside, it was bubbling up right next to him. Word on the street says Lala fell hard for Swizz, but he allegedly made it crystal clear he wasn't leaving Alicia. Still, he didn't exactly act like a taken man. For her birthday, he went full-on love bomb mode, dropping a gift so outrageous it had people's jaws on the floor, a custom-built Maybach worth $300,000, And it wasn't some quick pickup either. It reportedly took 2 months to design and deliver. Can you picture that? A car dripping in luxury, wrapped in secrets, and screaming louder than any rumor could. And he didn't stop there. He hit the studio, remixing some of her tracks, sprinkling his sound all over her vibe. Then came the collab with rapper Marv Milley, who bizarrely called Alicia the R&B Rosa Parks while dropping bars about her artistry, passion, and legacy. Fans were left asking how Rosa Parks got dragged into this mess. Looking back, the whole cocktail of flashy gifts, love-bombing gestures, and public praise now feels less like pure devotion and more like a distraction strategy. Years later, when Alicia boldly put Lala's name into the spotlight during the engagement scandal, those extravagant moments suddenly stopped looking romantic and started looking like smokescreens, cover-ups for something brewing in the dark. By now, all those flashy gifts and distractions start looking less like love and more like cover-ups. Smokescreens Swizz throughout, so Alicia never got a real close-up of what was brewing behind the curtain. Just when you thought this was only about Lala, boom, another twist drops. Rumor says Swizz may have gotten another woman pregnant. Not Alicia, not Lala, but a whole different woman altogether. And here's the kicker. She's allegedly a white girl. Fans nearly lost their minds, blasting timelines with, wait, Swizz got a white side chick pregnant? The internet was in shambles, and Alicia's name got dragged right back into the fire. But in a scandal this messy, nothing ever stays simple. The tea just keeps stacking layer after layer until it's boiling over like a kettle that refuses to be taken off the stove. And honestly, that's why Alicia might have finally reached her breaking point, throwing Lala's secret engagement into the public spotlight. Because at this stage, there was no way to ignore the chaos anymore. The past, the gossip, and all the dirty diversions were chasing them down like shadows they couldn't shake. Speaking of the past, let's rewind, because this ain't the first time whispers linked Lala and Swizz. Way before this so-called engagement surfaced, their energy had already been clocked. The tension between them was thick enough to cut with a knife. Lingering looks, inside jokes, those too long smiles that didn't read as just friends. And don't forget, this was back when Lala was still tied to Carmelo Anthony. Folks swore Lala and Swizz carried their own little bubble, always just a few steps away from the group, lost in each other's vibe, and the streets were not blind to it. Then came the Met Gala, the night that had everybody talking. On the red carpet, Lala leaned in close, chatting Swizz up with non-stop praise, her energy glowing while cameras flashed. Swizz couldn't help but grin and laugh right back, and though it wasn't openly flirty, the vibe was undeniable. Their chemistry had that spark, the kind that makes people stop mid-scroll and say, wait a second, what's going on here? The crowd might have brushed it off as playful banter, but for those watching closely, the undertone was way too intriguing to ignore. And that's why, when whispers of a secret engagement popped up, many weren't even shocked. Some fans argued it was the natural result of years of subtle interactions building up in plain sight. The energy between them wasn't born overnight, it had been simmering for years, just waiting for the right spark to finally ignite. What really raises eyebrows, though, is Lala's pattern. Every single time blogs start linking her to Swizz, another man suddenly pops up in the frame, like clockwork. First, a wealthy businessman from New York, then another mysterious figure whose name nobody could even pin down. And Lala, she never confirms, never denies, just keeps the smoke swirling while people speculate. And let's not forget, the internet's memory is selective but not gone. People dug up receipts, reminding everyone that Alicia and Swizz's love story wasn't picture perfect either. Swizz officially divorced Mashonda Tefrere in 2010, the very same year he and Alicia tied the knot. With timelines this messy, no wonder fans say the seeds of today's chaos were planted long ago, and now they're finally sprouting for the world to see. But here's where the whole story takes another wild turn. Because the spotlight wasn't just on Lala and Swizz anymore, it started shifting right back to Alicia. Fans began pointing out how she carried herself during all these whispers, the calm face, the quiet smiles, the almost too perfect composure on stage and online. To some, it looked like grace, but to others, it screamed that she already knew what was happening and was simply choosing not to play messy in public. The streets kept asking, was Alicia really unbothered, or was she just holding her cards close until the right moment to flip the table? Meanwhile, Lala's name wouldn't leave the headlines. Every blog, every gossip site, every Twitter thread dragged her back into the fire. And with each resurfaced clip, Like the red carpet Met Gala laughter or the Just Friends photos with Swizz, the narrative got harder to deny. People were saying this wasn't just coincidence. This was a slow game of positioning, one that finally reached its boiling point. Swizz, on the other hand, moved like a man juggling too many masks. One moment, he's the devoted husband standing beside Alicia at charity galas, praising her artistry and their family life. The next, he's grinning ear to ear in viral clips with Lala, or showering mysterious women with extravagant gifts that set timelines ablaze. Fans compared him to a magician, always distracting with one hand while pulling something unexpected with the other. And now, the tea kettle is whistling louder than ever. Between the secret engagement whispers, the alleged pregnancy with a third woman, and the timeline receipts stretching back over a decade, this saga feels less like random drama and more like a storm that's been gathering for years. The only question left is, when the thunder finally crashes, who's really going to get struck first? Alicia, Lala, or Swizz himself? By the time the rumors hit their peak, the internet had already split into camps. Team Alicia, Team Lala, and a smaller but loud Team Swizz, each one throwing their own spin on the scandal. Team Alicia swore she was the queen of composure, too focused on her career and family to let drama shake her crown. Team Lala argued that she was unfairly painted as the villain, a woman constantly linked to powerful men, but never given her own narrative. And then there was Team Swizz, convinced he was just a misunderstood creative who got caught in the crossfire of strong women and hungry bloggers. But the blogs weren't buying the misunderstood act. They kept digging, pulling up every cryptic lyric, every throwback interview, every shady studio photo. Suddenly, people started noticing how often Swizz used loyalty and trust in his captions, almost like he was writing subtext for Alicia while the drama swirled. Fans were quick to catch it. One viral comment read, "Man out here preaching loyalty while shopping Maybachs for side chicks." The contradictions were too loud to ignore. Meanwhile, Alicia's public moves only made things spicier. She doubled down on her image of spiritual growth, posting about light, healing, and inner peace. But with every inspirational post, the comment sections filled with side eyes, people asking if she was subliminally addressing the storm in her personal life. Was she dropping wisdom or quietly shading the whole triangle? Lala, on the other hand, kept herself booked and busy, popping up at high-profile events, smiling for the cameras, acting unbothered while her name trended nonstop. To some, it looked like strength. To others, it felt like a calculated move to stay in the spotlight no matter the cost. At this point, the drama wasn't just tea anymore, it was a cultural spectacle. The whispers of betrayal, karma, and secret engagements turned into a storyline bigger than any reality show. And now everybody's watching the next chapter like it's their favorite series, waiting to see whose mask slips first in this never-ending saga. Let's not forget the roots of this whole saga, because Shonda herself once spoke out, admitting she had her own slip-ups, but also making it crystal clear that Alicia entered the picture while Swizz was still married. According to Shonda, she was blindsided by the divorce and had no idea he'd be walking down the aisle with Alicia just a few months later. And yet, fast forward, we see them all smiling as one blended family. A polished public act that many fans never bought into. One fan summed it up perfectly. Swizz broke that woman's heart, then tried to Photoshop over the pain with happy family photos. He never fixed the damage, he just rebranded it. And honestly, when you line that up against what's unfolding with Lala now, it feels like history is repeating itself. The same distractions, the same whispers, the same over-the-top love bombs to cover up a storm brewing in the background. And the rumors won't quit. From whispers of Swizz fathering a child outside the marriage to chatter about secret engagements, the chaos surrounding Alicia keeps multiplying. At this point, even wild claims of an Alicia-Swizz divorce started floating around, shocking fans who thought their bond was unbreakable. The streets are screaming one old saying over and over, "You lose them the same way you get them, kid." So what do you think? Is this messy circle finally closing in, or are we just scratching the surface of an even bigger scandal? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with a friend, and I'll see you on the next one because trust me, this story is far from over.